Greetings to the 12 tribes of Israel, scattered, dispersed, and not destroyed. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to the truth, a part of the Waking Remnant Coalition Dallas. My name is Yemi'el Ben Yahuda. I am one of the teachers and elders here at the Truth or at the Awakening Coalition, Waking Remnant Coalition Dallas. I want to thank everybody for coming in and joining us on this beautiful Shabbat day. We give all honor and praise to the Most High Yah and His Word, Yeshua HaMashiach, and the set apart breath of the set apart spirit, which is the Ruach HaKodesh. We have been studying for the last few months in the Apocryphal books. We have been in, we started off with first Esdras. Now we're in second Esdras, and we're about to start the 9th chapter. Y'all, I'm not at home. As y'all can see, I'm somewhere else. And so I'm going to, the way we're going to do this, when Brother Yosef comes on, he's going to do the readings. I don't even have my sword with me, y'all. So forgive me for that. What I do want to say is this. We're in a period of new beginnings. Us as a nation, our people are waking up slowly to the truth that they are the descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel. We are coming into the knowledge of self-awareness. This is a beautiful time to be one of the children of Yasharel or of Israel. This is one of the times where we now can see and understand the timeline or some of the timeline of Scripture, because not only are we walking in it, but we're living it out as it goes. I am very grateful for each and every one of y'all that are with me today. I want y'all to understand, as we walk out the word, there should be, when we look at Joel, and it tells us in Joel that in that time our children will have visions and our older men will have dreams. These things are being carried out because we're actually walking through it. We're intersecting. So we're conscious. We're in a space where consciousness and unconsciousness meet, and so he is able to download messages to us so we could get a better understanding of not only who he is, but who we are. It is his wish that no man shall perish. And because of that, he has given out every opportunity for us to get it right or get our stuff together. Y'all forgive me, man. This is my hair. He's given every opportunity for us to attempt to make this thing right. He doesn't want his first love, which is Israel. He doesn't want us to perish. He came that we may have everlasting life. Shabbat Shalom Aki. And so in this, we have to be cognizant of our surroundings and what we're walking through, not only in the physical, but in the spiritual realm. Many of us aren't ready for this because we have not, we haven't been eating meat long enough to prepare ourselves, not only spiritually, but physically. Physically, we're starting to understand who we are, but spiritually, we don't understand the power that we possess. This is very important for us as we go forward, that to know ourselves is to be in communion or in contract with him, or what do we call it? Covenant with him. And as we walk this thing, see, our reward is in the covenant. If we're not in covenant relationship with Yah, or if we're not inside of the covenant that was set with Abraham, there's nothing we can do. You understand? We've written ourselves out of the book. And Yeshua's blood is amazing, because now I understand, as I get older and I start reading more, I understand that the blood is his way of writing us back into the covenant. We've been estranged from Yah for years. We've been estranged from our heritage. We've been estranged from our destiny. We've been estranged from our walk. But it's through the blood of Yeshua that connects us back in to the covenant. And because of this blood being shed for our remission of sin, now we have a chance to eternal life through him, through the word of Yah. We have an opportunity to be redeemed back into the covenant. I want each and every one of y'all that understands what I'm talking about, put a 1 in the chat. I know that I'm talking without scripture, but I need to let y'all understand this. Our relationship with Yah is important because it connects us to that covenant. I remember a few years back, I was preaching about, I was going through Genesis, and I was breaking all the words down in Hebrew. And so we got to made in his image and in his likeness. And those two words, Shalem and Damat, brought us into a blood-connected covenant. So when it says, I made you in your image, make them in our image and in our likeness, it was saying, make us in a blood, oh my God, a blood-connected covenant. Give us a blood-connected covenant with him. You understand? Connect us through the blood. All the way in Genesis, he had already had a plan to make us in his image and to connect us by blood. This is why in Genesis chapter 6, I tell y'all very adamantly that after the sin entered into the world, it severed the connection. And so what Yah was doing at that point, after the connection was severed because of sin, remember in Genesis, he tells them, I got to put you out, because if you get a hold of the tree of life in the condition that you're in, you may live forever. And then this sin will live on too. See, the only thing that sin can do is lead us to death. Death has to occur one way or another so that we can be purified. And because the Son had not already come, Yah's not Yah's fear, but Yah's understanding of what he was saying was that, listen, if I let you stay in this garden and you eat of the tree of life in the condition that you're in, you are going to be sinful. And you will live forever in your sin. Couldn't have that. So he severed the tie between man and himself by setting man outside of the garden. Understand this: the garden has a gate around it, and when he put man out, the separation was that wall that he placed in between man and himself. Now, over the time after that, certain men were able to, and women were able to enter inside of a space where they could connect with Yah. This is very important. I need y'all to get a hold of this real quick. Shabbat Shalom, Ma.
Shabbat Shalom.
So, I want y'all to get an understanding. Through time, Yah had chosen a few men and a few women throughout time who demonstrated great faith and resolve. And Yah opened up the gate for them to enter into relationship with him. When it got to Abraham and Yah had a great understanding and a great relationship because Abraham was grateful and respectful to the words of the Most High. So if the Most High told him to jump off the bridge, he was going to jump. I think y'all had to be careful of what he asked Abraham to do, because he knew that Abraham was going to do it. Listen, y'all tried Abraham and told him, look, take your son Isaac and take him out to Mount Moriah so you can sacrifice him to me. That man, I'm sorry. And I think me and Joseph have talked about this before. There's a lot of things I can give up. There's a lot of things I can put aside. There's a lot of things I can throw away. I don't know if I could kill one of my kids. You understand what I'm saying? And I love y'all. But I wonder sometimes, could you have done that? And so when Abraham carried this out, he gave himself an avenue for the seed that would become Yeshua HaMashiach to enter into this world. This is our redemptive connection. He is, and I love it when Joseph says it, but he says he is our kinsman redeemer. And through the lineage of Abraham, so came our kinsman redeemer. Mm-hmm. Listen, y'all, and if you look up and go down the genealogy of Yeshua, it's got some pits and some holes in it. It's got Ruth running around here. The Moabitess. It's got Rebecca. What's that woman's name? Rahab in there, straight up whole Babylon. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got stupid real quick. But as you can see, his bloodline, a lot of Canaanite influences in his blood. Mm-hmm. I tell you this because this connection was dirty, but it was clean. To the eyes of the priest, and even to the eyes of his family, Yeshua looked dirty, but he was the cleanest thing on earth. Pure. This is why it is important as we study these books of Esdras and these things in the Maccabees, if it does not lead to the redemptive word, then you have to think about it. Like Joseph and I were discussing 2 weeks ago, everything leads back to him. You can look and it hits New Testament teaching and it hits Torah. It hits them both. Once we get once we leave out of this, I'm really going to work on the teaching to show y'all the difference between the oral traditions and Torah. Two different things.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at what Yeshua was doing, he was not going against Torah. They would have you think he was breaking the law. And it was not the law that he was breaking. He was breaking oral tradition to show the fact that oral tradition had no weight versus Torah.
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically, the Talmud is no more than a big commentary.
Mm-hmm.
It's full of oral traditions and what we call mispahs, which are stories written in the book to connect or make things smoother. You know, the things that you may not understand, or the stories that did not come out all the way, so you can get a better understanding. But that's just the thoughts of a rabbi.
Mm-hmm.
And even the way they challenged the Messiah, they challenged him not using Torah. And they said he was blaspheming because he was destroying oral tradition. When he told, when they were eating the showbread, when David ate the showbread,
Mm-hmm.
that was a crime punishable by death. And when Messiah compared his body to the showbread, them jokers was running pistol hot. They was 38 hot, y'all.
Yeah.
You know, when he told the disciples on the Shabbat to eat grain, go ahead and eat that grain. You know, they was pistol hot.
Yeah.
You know, you are not supposed to be doing this on the Shabbat. When he told the man to pick up his bed and walk, their first reaction was not, oh, the miracle that was just done. They're like, you breaking Torah. Because you are carrying your bed on the Shabbat.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, and the man said, well, the man that healed me told me to take up. Well, who is this that's telling you to break Torah? Not understanding that there was no break in the Torah.
Mm-hmm.
This man had to get his linen home. And Yeshua said it very clearly, if you got an oxen or a donkey and it's in a ditch on the Shabbat, you gonna get that donkey out.
Yeah.
This is why I want y'all to understand the period that we're going through and how this period not only connects in Old Testament or Torah, the Apocrypha writings, and even the Berhei Hadashah. And you will see how it's playing out. I want y'all to be cognizant and listen to what's being read so that you can get a better understanding. Okay, Joseph, I don't have my computer with me, nor do I have my sword with me that has the Apocrypha in it.
Okay.
So if we can start at chapter 9, and I'm gonna need you to narrate, and I will pick up on some of the points that you made. Oh yeah, and also everybody, forgive me. I'm not gonna say forgive Joseph, but forgive me for last Shabbat. Man, my wife was gone, and I'm gonna explain. My wife was gone, and my big butt laid down in that bed, and woke up at 2:45, and called Joseph. It was like, oops. And he was like, "Are you getting on?" I'm like, "No, that I needed a break." So y'all forgive me for taking that break on y'all last week. You know, my body must have been tired to do it. All right, go ahead, Joseph.
Okay. So we were at, was it 9 or 10?
9.
So we're gonna read 9. Okay. Um. Second Esdras chapter 9. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, that then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Yemi'el, let me say something real quick.
Go ahead.
This was local. There were two earthquakes in Mansfield last week, I believe. And I was watching the comments on Facebook, and I was going to I was going to comment, but I never did. I got distracted, never to get around to it. But Yeshua told us there would be days like this. I wrote in here. We're not going to go here, but I wrote in there. I wrote in the margin Luke 21:9-11.
Yes.
And I know what it is. It's a reference to. It's where Yeshua is talking about the last times where you have earthquakes in various places and different uproars and different signs. And so just by way of just a very real and a very relevant, because we're here in the DFW area, that we're seeing and hearing of earthquakes, and this is not recent. I worked out the airport from 2008 to 2012, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And on the ramp a lot, on and off the airport ramp where the planes take off. And there were and they would not even really register on the Richter scale, but we were given alerts every time an earthquake. They would shut the ramp down, even though sometimes it was like a 1 or a 2 on the Richter scale is almost unmeasurable. Not unmeasurable, it was undetectable. They would shut down the ramp, and this was a regularity. Even then, even 10, 12 years ago.
Yep.
And so when we should be some of the last folk, excuse me, that should be shocked when these things happen, because they've been told. This is what he's saying. He said, thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. And so this is not news to us. It's not new to us. It shouldn't be. Some of these the storms and some of these things that uproar, we should be some of the last people to be caught unaware of these things. Just wanted to make that statement.
Correct.
Verse 5, for like as all that is made in the world has a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings, in wonders and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land, and within my borders. For I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Verse 9, then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me, and they that have loathed my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. The same must know it after death by pain. And therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished, and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved,
Mm.
whose the world is, and for whom the world is created.
Hey,
Then,
so when he says that this is who the world was created, then he's basically saying these are the people who I created the world for.
mm-hmm.
These are the people that I'm in relationship with. And he told us clearly, look, man, don't worry about how them other folks gonna get judged. You worry about yourself. You remember when we was a kid and we get a whooping for something, and then we be wanting our other sibling to get a whooping, and they're like, when you gonna whoop such and such? Don't worry about such and such. You worried about your own tail. You
Yeah.
know, this is how Yah is talking to us like children. You know, he's explaining this out so beautifully to Esdras that, don't worry about these other folks. You worry about you. And this is why I'm telling y'all, don't talk to me about Hasatan. I don't care. He gonna get his. Don't talk to
Mm-hmm.
me about who Esau is. I don't care. I'm so happy that I woke up in enough time to understand who I am. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we get these fascinations a lot of times, like the church. We get fascinated by our adversaries. Why would you worry about somebody that's already defeated?
Hmm.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, then 14, then answered I and said, I have said before, and now do speak, and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many of them which perish, than of them which shall be saved. Like as a wave is greater than a drop. And he answered me, saying, like as the field is, so is also the seed. As the flowers be, such are the colors also. Such as the workman is, such also is the work. And as the husbandman is himself, so is his husbandry also. For it was the time, for it was the time of the world. And now when I prepared the world, which was not yet made, even for them to dwell in that now live, no man spake against me. For then everyone obeyed. But now the manners of them which are created in this world that is made are corrupted by a perpetual seed, and by a law which is unsearchable, rid themselves. So I considered the world, and behold, that there was peril because of the devices that were coming to it. And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster and a plant of a great people. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept, and my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect. Nevertheless, if thou wilt cease yet 7 days more, but thou shalt not fast in them, but go into a field of flowers where no house is builded, and eat only the flowers of the field. Taste no flesh, drink no wine, but eat flowers only. And pray unto the highest continually, then will I come and talk with thee. So I went my way into the field which is called Ardath, like as he commanded me, and there I sat among the flowers, and did eat of the herbs of the field, and the meat of the same satisfied me. After 7 days I sat upon the grass, and my heart was vexed within me, like as before. And I opened my mouth and began to talk before the Most High, and said, O Lord, thou that showest thyself unto us, thou wast showed unto our fathers in the wilderness, in a place where no man treaded, in a barren place, when they came out out of Egypt. And thou spakest, saying, Hear me, O Israel, and mark my words, thou seed of Jacob. For behold, I sow my law in you, and it shall bring forth fruit in you, and ye shall be honored in it forever. But our fathers which received the law kept it not, and observed not thy ordinances. And though the fruit of thy law did not perish, neither could it, for it was thine.
Mm.
Yet they that received it perished, because they kept not the thing that was sown in them. And lo, it is a custom, when the ground hath received seed, or the sea a ship, or any vessel meat or drink that being perished within it was sown or cast into. That thing also which was sown or cast therein or received doth perish, and remaineth not with us. But
Mm.
with us it had not happened so. For we that have received the law perish by sin, and our heart also which received it. Notwithstanding, the law perisheth not, but remaineth in his force. And when I spake these things in my heart, I looked back with mine eyes, and upon the right side I saw a woman, and behold, she mourned and wept with a loud voice, and was much grieved in heart, and her clothes were rent, and she had ashes upon her head. Then I let my thoughts go that I was in, and turned me unto her, and said unto her, Wherefore weepest thou? Why art thou so grieved in thy mind? And she said unto me, Sir, let me alone, that I may bewail myself, and add unto my sorrow, for I'm sore vexed in my mind, and brought very low.
Mm.
And I said unto her, What aileth thee? Tell me. She said unto me, I, thy servant, have been barren, and had no child, though I had an husband 30 years. And those 30 years I did nothing else day and night, and every hour but make my prayer to the highest. After 30 years, God heard me, thine handmaid, looked upon my misery, considered my trouble, and gave me a son.
Mm.
And I was very glad of him. So was my husband also, and all my neighbors, and we gave great honor unto the Almighty. And I nourished him with great travail. So when he grew up and came to the time that he should have a wife, I made a feast. That's the end of verse 9, chapter 9. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, go ahead.
And so, chapter 10, and so it came to pass that when my son was entered into his wedding chamber, he fell down and died.
Mm.
Then we all overthrew the lights, and all my neighbors rose up to comfort me. So I took my rest until the second day at night. And it came to pass, when they had all left off to comfort me, to the end I might be quiet, then I rose up by night and fled, and came hither into this field, as thou seest.
Mm.
And I do know, and I do now purpose not to return into the city, but here to stay, and neither to eat nor drink, but continually to mourn and to fast until I die. Then left I the meditations wherein I was, and spake to her in anger, saying, Thou foolish woman, above all others, seest thou not our mourning, and what happened unto us? How that Zion, our mother, is full of all heaviness, and much humbled, mourning very sore? And now, seeing we all mourn and are sad, for we are all in heaviness, art thou grieved for one son? For ask the earth, and she shall tell thee, that it is she which ought to mourn for the fall of so many that grow upon her. For out of her came all at the first, and out of her shall all others come. And behold, they walk almost all into destruction, and a multitude of them is utterly rooted out. Who then should make more mourning than she? that hath lost so great a multitude, and not thou, which art sorry but for one. But if thou sayest unto me, my lamentation is not like the earth's, because I have lost the fruit of my womb, which I brought forth with pains and bear with sorrows, but the earth not so, for the multitude present in it to the course of the earth is gone as it came. Then say I unto thee, like as thou hast brought forth with labor, even so the earth also hath given her fruit, namely man, ever since the beginning unto him that made her.
Mm.
Now therefore keep thy sorrow to thyself, and bear with a good courage that which hath befallen thee. For if thou shalt acknowledge the determination of God to be just, and thou shalt both receive thy son in time, and shalt be commended among women. Go thy way into the city to thine husband. And she said unto me, that I will not do. I will not go into the city, but here will I die. So I proceeded to speak further unto her, and said, do not so, but be counseled of me, be counseled by me. For for many are the adversities of Zion. Be comforted in regard of the sorrow of Jerusalem. For thou seest that our sanctuary is laid waste, our altar is broken down, our temple destroyed. Our psaltery is laid on the ground, our song is put to silence, our rejoicing is at an end, the light of our candlestick is put out. The ark of our covenants is spoiled, our holy things are defiled, and the name that is called upon us is almost profane. Our children are put to shame, our priests are burnt, our Levites are gone into captivity.
Mm.
Our virgins are defiled, and our wives are ravished. Our righteous men carried away, our little ones destroyed. Our young men are bought in bondage, and our strong men are become weak. And which is the greatest of all? The seal of Zion hath now lost her honor, for she is delivered into the hands of them that hate us. Mm. And therefore shake off thy great heaviness, and put away thy multitude of sorrows, that the mighty may be merciful unto thee. Again, and the mighty shall give thee rest and ease from thy labor. And it came to pass, while I was talking with her, behold, her face upon a sudden shined exceedingly, and her countenance glistened, so that I was afraid of her, and mused what it might be. And behold, suddenly she made a great cry, very fearful, so that the earth shook at the noise of the woman. And I looked, and behold, the woman appeared unto me no more. But there was a city builded, and a large place showed itself from the foundations. Then was I afraid, and cried with a loud voice, and said, where is Uriel the angel, who came unto me at the first? For he had caused me to fall into many trances, and mine end is turned into corruption, and my prayer to rebuke. And as I was speaking these words, behold, he came unto me and looked upon me. And lo, I lay as one that had been dead, and mine understanding was taken from me. And he took me by the right hand, and comforted me, and set me upon my feet, and said unto me, what aileth thee? Why art thou so disquieted? And why is thine understanding troubled, and the thoughts of thine heart? And I said, behold, the thoughts of and I said, because thou hast forsaken me, and yet I did according to thy words. And I went into the field, and lo, I have seen, and yet see, that I am not able to express. And he said unto me, stand up manfully, and I will advise thee. Then I said, speak on, my Lord, in me. Only forsake me not, lest I die frustrate of my hope. For I have seen that I knew not, and hear that I do not know. Or is my sense deceived, or my soul in a dream? Now therefore I beseech thee that thou wilt show thy servant of this vision. He answered me then and said, Hear me, and I shall inform thee, and tell thee wherefore thou art afraid. For the highest will reveal many secret things unto thee. He had seen that thy way is right, for thou sorrowest continually for thy people, and thou makest great lamentation for Zion. This therefore is the meaning of the vision which thou lately sawest. Thou sawest a woman mourning, and thou beginnest to comfort her. But now seest thou the likeness of the woman no more, but there appeared unto thee a city builded. And whereas she told thee of the death of her son, this is the solution. This woman whom thou sawest is Zion, and whereas she said unto thee, even she whom thou seest as a city builded, whereas I say, she said unto thee that she had been 30 years barren. Those are the 30 years wherein there was no offering made in her. But after 30 years, Solomon builded the city and offered offerings, and then bear the barren a son. Whereas she told thee that she nourished him with labor, that was the dwelling in Jerusalem. But whereas she said unto thee that my son coming into his marriage chamber happened to have a fall and died, this was the destruction that came to Jerusalem. And behold, thou sawest her likeness, and because she mourned for her son, thou beganest to comfort her. And of these things which thou have chanced, these are to be opened unto thee. I, or now the Most High, seest that thou art grieved unfeignedly, and sufferest from thy whole heart for her. So has he showed thee the brightness of her glory and the comeliness of her beauty. And therefore I bade thee remain in the field where no house was building. For I knew that the highest would show this unto thee. Therefore I commanded thee to go into the field where no foundation of any building was. For in the place wherein the highest beginneth to show his city, there can no man's building be able to stand. Therefore fear not, let not thine heart be affrighted, but go thy way in and see the beauty and greatness of the building, as much as thine eyes be able to see. And then thou shalt hear as much as thine ears may comprehend. For thou art blessed above many other, and art called with the highest, and so are but few. But tomorrow at night thou shalt remain here, and so shalt the highest show thee visions of the high things, for the high things which the Most High will do unto them that dwell upon the earth in the last days. So I slept that night, and another, like as he commanded me. That's the end of chapter 10.
Okay, we're gonna stop right there. Go ahead and talk to him.
Okay, this whole vision that Esdras saw started out as a dream. Started with the instructions to fast, and then started with a dream. And in the midst of a dream, there was vexation of spirit. He was vexed in his spirit. And so here's the thing. The people, the men that are called by Yah to lead the people and intercede on behalf of the people, often are vexed in their spirit. They're not happy people. And so, and what we find is leaders often fall into a depression. We know the word, we know what the word says, but then we look on the plight of our people, and we're inquiring of Yah in the word, and along with that, he's given us a vision. He's given us a dream. He's given us a God's eye view. I'm going to put that. I'm going to say it like that. A God's eye view of how this thing is going to play out. But then our flesh, we're fighting with our flesh at the same time. And so he's having dreams and visions that he doesn't quite understand. He's seeing this lady, which is basically an allegory of Zion. And then he gets the interpretation. But even though he gets the interpretation, the problem is still not solved. We're in the middle of the desecration. We're in the middle of the defilement. We're sitting in the middle of the mess.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is why so many times y'all see us and we're so excited about the word because we got it. We got a word. We got a word. But then in the midst of giving the word, in the midst of presenting the word, in the midst of proclaiming the word, when the summer is over, we still jacked up. We mad. We mad.
Why
And this is what I love about this book. This is what I love about this book. And thank you again, Yemi. Thank the Ruach for leading you here. What I love about this book is with Esdras. When I say Esdras, first and second Esdras, it shows it shows the inner struggle of the prophet of God, of the man of God, of the leader, of the visionary. It shows his inner struggle more descriptively than I believe any other book. I mean, you know, we talk about Isaiah and talk about Jonah, how Jonah was mad because he knew y'all was gonna save them people. They were some mental people. He was mad. He wasn't going. I'm not going because I know what you're gonna do to them wicked people. And then Jeremiah, the weeping prophet who wrote Jeremiah, and he also wrote Lamentations. But in this book, we see, we're given a backstage pass to how the Most High deals with those that He has chosen to lead His people, and so many folk. And I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna not say much more after this. So many people desire to be that person. But that person does not sleep at night.
Okay.
So you got a lot of pimps and perverts that's out here profiting off of Yah's word. But you got very few men of Yah who have been shown this thing in a dream and told plainly how it was going to play out. And we still, we upset, we vex in our spirit, we mad. High blood pressure, gallstones.
You ain't worth a day.
Y'all, you want to be just like Esdras sitting out in the field, sitting out somewhere by herself, just shaking her head. This is the real thing here, beloved. Those of you that are this is the real deal about the men that Yah calls and the ones that He's showing things to. It's showing the struggle, the inner struggle, right, the mental struggle, the psychological, playing with your mind. I mean, you sitting. First of all, you fasting. You're in the field. You're in the field out by yourself. You fasting. You are praying, and you're not hearing nothing. And then all of a sudden, He wait about a week. Then He show you something, and the stuff He show you, you don't understand it. And then you're mad about that. And then He gives you the interpretation. And then you got the interpretation, but you're still mad because we still, again, it ain't right. It don't look like it's gonna ever be right. And the Father's telling the man, just like when Yemi began, he talked about Abraham. The Father showed Abraham something, and so that's Abraham moved in obedience, even to the point that he was going to slay his son because Yah showed Abram something. He showed him the vision. And so this we read 9 and 10.
Yep.
You know, it was a lot of reading, but this really uh, helps us to understand how Yah deals with with those that He has called, and how these things, how ministry, and how ministry is vexing and is frustrating, and you know, and it's a lot of you know, we talk to people and we say, well, he's coming, hold on, he's coming, he's gonna make it right.
When?
Soon. Soon and very soon. And we keep saying that, and we believe it, and we preach it, and we proclaim it. Then on the other hand, we look at it and we say, boy, I tell you, we more wrapped up in what they call it, the who beefing on the rap, and
Uh-huh.
and uh, Diddy and all this stuff. We all caught up in that.
It be on everything.
We can tell you all about that, but we can't tell you nothing about this word. And so the man of Yah is this is what we're dealing with. And so it's just a beautiful representation of how the Father is through the angel Uriel, and through his own revelations, is showing Esdras all of these things, but all is not well. All is not well.
Tell them why.
But it will be, and that's the hope. He's having to. He's talking to this woman, but actually, he's really talking to himself.
Yep.
He's telling this woman, no, you can't just come out here and die. You got a husband.
That's it.
You got to go back and minister to your husband. You got to go back and minister to your family. You can't sit here talking about you're going to sit here and die. But he was actually talking to, he didn't understand. He didn't even understand. He was dreaming. Talking to himself.
Okay.
You got to hold on to your hope. You got to go back and encourage the ones that remain. And you can't be tripping on who was lost and what's been lost.
That's a fact. That is a fact. Everybody, I want to tell y'all that when you start reading these books and they start opening up to you, and you start receiving the revelation of, look, man, those 2 chapters, I was just talking to y'all when I came on, telling you how I felt about some things, but it all played out to the outline of what's going on in these chapters. Brothers and sisters, we have to learn to depend on the word, for it's the word that leads us and guides us. You can't do this thing without it. This walk as a Hebrew can be confusing. Plus, they got 1,900 different ways of doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we done set up organizations that do the feast days on the first, start at the dang full moon, and not listening to what the book tells us to do.
Mm-hmm.
We've got people celebrating Shabbat from Friday sundown to Saturday sunset. I mean, sunup.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta understand, man. Get a book and get this knowledge in your head for yourself. Because it's what's going on between your ears, according to the Messiah. that's going to lead you into a better understanding. And we have to put ourselves in the place of the prophet and listen. Listen, Linda, listen. Listen. You got to do it this way because the scriptures can be fully immersible. That's what I love about them the most. And I want y'all to understand the gain of love of y'all's word. You have to sanctify what's going on inside of your house. Because if you don't, you're going to be all confused and discombobulated, and it's going to start to get a little bit deeper and more pressing as we go on. But what I want y'all to understand is there's a certain amount of power given unto you according to his word. So I just want everybody to know that we got to stay studied up. We got to stay in this book. If you're going to read anything, go ahead and keep up with the reading, with what we're going to do. And if you can't, then we'll figure something out. But it is our jobs to open your mind up to this Ruach, not the other way around. Because honestly, you've got a mission that's important too in this thing. So, as we get ready to close this thing down, is there anything else you want to say, Art?
Oh yeah, the summation there of chapter 10, or he shows, he gives him the full revelation of all this that I've showed you was about Zion and how I'm going to build. He said, I put you somewhere where no one else. He said, I put you somewhere out in the field where no one else was, because when the Most High gets ready to build, he's going to build in a place, or rebuild, or restore. He's going to build in a place where man is not touched.
Right. Virgin land.
Virgin land. And this is what he does to us. He will place us in a spot where no one else is. He's giving us a revelation or illumination that no one else will speak or teach, because he said, I got to build on. I can't build on Baptist doctrine. I can't build on Methodist doctrine. I'm gonna offend all of our sensibilities. I can't build on. I can't build on Christian doctrine. The stuff that we've learned and been indoctrinated, and the traditions of men, as Yemi'el spoke about earlier, talking about with the Talmud and the Mishnah and all these writings and these commentaries, all these theologians and these commentaries and all these doctrines they come up with. He said, I'm not going to build on that. I'm not going to do it.
That's a fact.
And so I said that to say this, and then I'm going to give it back to you, man. Those of us that are in this walk and walk on his word, and we find ourselves in a solitary, lonely place, you're in the right spot. If you're standing on his word and you're believing him, even though we don't understand it, and even though he's given us a vision of what's going to happen, and we still look around and we just by ourselves out in the field somewhere. When you talking about ain't no rapture, and you talking about Christmas, we ain't doing Christmas, and you talking about we ain't doing Easter, you talking about we not going to church on Sunday, and you all by yourself, because everybody else is at the church house.
Yeah, but boy, I can't with you. I can't.
Listen, we just read it out of Esdras. He set him somewhere where no one else was.
You know,
so he didn't have a whole crowd of people. He didn't have a whole crowd of prophets and preachers and apostles and bishops, and he didn't have an entourage. He didn't even have any converts. He didn't have nobody with him.
Right.
He just out there. But he was out there on the word.
Right.
And the Father showed him Zion. He said, listen, I'm gonna build it. And it's gonna be beautiful. And you're in the right spot. Out there by yourself. Standing on this word.
I got y'all safe. But I need y'all to go into Bolivia and stand on the rocks and proclaim my word. These Negroes, boy, I swear. It's been a pleasure having you here with me on another Shabbat. We want to give all honor and praise to the Most High Yah.
Hallelujah.
Thanks to all the parents that allowed their children to come through last month and spend some time with us and get these little epaulets on their shoulders filled with some rank. I don't know what I just said. I'll explain to you that in a minute. But everybody, I want y'all to have a good weekend. Enjoy the rest of this holy Shabbat. Get y'all a nap in. Don't hang up when we get off the phone.
Okay.
Abiyah, I give you honor and praise. I thank you once again, O Creator of the universe. Please let your hands of protection lay over my body as I fight through this whatever it is. I ask that you would bless all who are approached you this day seeking salvation. Abiyah, we ask that you would speak to their hearts, and not only into their hearts, but in their mind, that they should see what's good and pleasant and receive it back into themselves. Y'all, once again, we thank you for this holy Shabbat. May your words always be magnanimous in our hearts, in our home. But also, it looked like he didn't age a day since 19. So, everybody, I thank you once again. Please feel free to let me know what y'all plan on doing today. All right. So, everybody, I want to say once again, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, family.
And thank y'all.